We're shooters. My name is Alex.
Mateo.
Maddie. Aaliyah.
Sabrina.
So first, a little bit about who we are. So we are a craft shop bar and nightclub located right over there in the dunes. We may be a nightclub, but we're still in the business of creating memories. So we're not out there just delivering drinks every night. We use our innovative craft shots to heavily focus on the interaction between our consumers. So we want students coming from CSU and B to come and enjoy themselves every weekend. We promise to deliver a premier experience, and the best way to see that premier experience for yourself is some samples. So we're gonna
Got
go-
shots for you guys.
Jello.
All right, we got 3 for you.
Careful, don't hurt yourself.
Three for you. Got the
So you guys are on 21.
Look at Brad. Brad wasting no time. Someone come make another one.
Interesting flavor of Jello. I've never tasted that flavor of Jello. Very thick.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah.
I want to hit it, but it was against it. It was against it.
It didn't scare us. Is that a trade secret?
Full disclosure, if any of you are underage, I don't want to hear about it.
It's Jello.
Alright, so everyone had their Jello shot? Y'all good? So when it came to the problem, we had to ask ourselves some questions. Why is Monterey so boring? Why do I not have a good time when I go out? Why do I have to go to a different city? And here's the couple problems. So when we go to house parties, it gets shut down at 12 every night by cops. So there's no fun with that. So when we go to the bars, we get hit on by old people, hostile people that don't have to take no for an answer. Or we have that one friend in the age group that is under 21. So we came up with some solutions. So come to Shooters, 18 Plus Club, where we all can have fun together. We provide over 30 different unique shots with live performances, DJ, you name it. And you want to have a great time, look at my man's right here. He must have something good at that party.
So for opportunity and target market, we will be primarily focusing on serving college students, specifically CCOB students, MPC, and Middlebury Institute of International Study at Monterey students, and young residents who live in the Monterey County area, and tourists and business travelers who come to Monterey. So college students and young residents would be a large percentage of our target market just because our business styles serve exactly what they need in terms of entertaining and getting a unique experience. And we only expecting just a small percentage of tourists and business travelers just because they might pick a place at more that would just come as a family or for business purpose. So they might pick a place that's more kids-friendly or family-friendly environment.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about our competition. So we have some direct competition, obviously like Alvarado Street Brewery or the Bull Bear, which are already known like bars down in the Monterey area. However, they don't have large dance floors. They don't even have a large space. So we differ as in we have our dance floor. And then we also have indirect competitors, which is house parties. But with house parties, there's no guarantee there's even going to be a party. Like we said, it's going to get shut down, and there's always a guarantee that shooters will be open. And now we have marketing, so we plan to market through obviously social media and Yelp. We're going to post a few flyers around campus just to get the school knowing about it, and we're also relying heavily on word of mouth.
Okay, so a little bit about the sales. So since we are a nightclub, we're going to be doing cover charges. One of the biggest ways to get our revenues is through the cover charges. We're going to be having $5 for everyone 21 and up, and then $10 for 18 to 20. Our drinks range anywhere from $7 to $10, which are in comparison to the bars downtown. However, every year we are going to raise our shots by 25% as we get larger and larger crowds. At the end of year 2 to the beginning of year 3, we're going to start renting out the space to other events and going to try and compete with the Catalyst in Santa Cruz for hosting concerts. That's going to increase our revenues by a lot as we can front the charge and then charge tickets however we want.
So for our management team, our CEO is going to be Alex. He's a great face for our company. He has a very shooter's face. And then for our CFO, it's going to be myself handling the finances. Then for our COO, it's going to be Lynn handling our day-to-day, just how the business runs. And then we're going to have a marketing and a promoters team, which is going to consist of Mateo and Sabrina. They're very good at knowing what people like. They're going to be very ears to the street. And then we're going to have an actual club manager, so it's going to be Maddie. So we thought it would be a good idea to have somebody down to the floor so we know what's actually going on the nightclub. So she's going to know what's good and bad, and bring it up to the management team so we know what to change and what not to change and what's working and what's not working.
Okay, so for our financial projections, this is kind of just the baseline we have with our cover charges and a couple of drinks. We have not included like our concerts and our rental space, so I mean these numbers should be going up. And also we are going to serve virgin drinks to our 18 to 21-year-olds so they don't feel left out that their friends have a drink and they don't. So, and our financing so each of us are putting in $50,000, which brings us to $300,000. That's kind of our basis to start construction out in the dunes. If you've seen that kind of little warehouse thingy, it needs a lot of construction. So we're just looking for $200,000 to help finish that construction and get that dance floor on fire with all you guys.
So our closing, pretty much this is what we want to get with your finances, and pretty much shooters gonna shoot, help us get there. That's it. Oh, we haven't got to get our That's it. Any questions? Let's go.
Yeah, I was wondering, since it's gonna be 18 plus, what kind of like regulations you're gonna do? For example, I'm in LA, and a lot of the clubs are 18 plus, and the issue that they have is that 18 plus get drinks, and they've had kind of like an issue with.
So a big way we're going to be separating that is through wristbands and then separation of the bar. So the bar is not going to be accessed unless you have the 21 and up wristband. And then the virgin drinks we were talking about, we're going to be at a separate station. So by no means you're able to go and cross that line. And if you do get your drink, you're not allowed to, again, bring it over that same line. So we're going to have a large space with the dance floor and the under 21s, and a separate space for those that are 21. And since it is shots, you're not really going to be walking around the club with a shot in your hand, like sipping on it, without people like making fun of people and they getting kicked out too.
And then since we are doing virgin drinks, we're going to have the cups associated with the wristbands.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you do, and then that's when we're just gonna have to get like a little wild, kick people out because we're not playing none of that.
Yeah.
So like from the earlier presentations, my initial concerns about longevity, like how the business is going to keep going, not just be like a one-time event. But your growth strategy sounds pretty awesome. You know, renting out the location, you know, getting it as a concert venue. My only question with that though is, you said to me in the dunes, how are you going to like manage like parking and things like that when there's all those businesses in that area as well?
Well, since it is open late at night, we're not really going to be competing with the day crowds. We're going to go to like Target, Best Buy in that area. Where the only people we're usually competing with is the movie theater, since obviously people do go there very late at night. But there is an abundance of space, and we're also counting on large numbers of our patrons to Uber or use ride-sharing services, so they're not going to be all just trying to find a place to park.
Really liked the idea. I also really like the growth as well as the free samples. I think it's a really awesome idea and a great company, and I like your strategy. The only thing is the location. I don't think that for what your business is, that this would be the right area to start it. Maybe to expand it once you saw the business model successfully work in like a big city. I just don't know if there's enough crowd around this specific location to give you the revenues that you were forecasting, or also even thinking about like maybe if you went to San Francisco or Austin or Sacramento, a bigger box city that still has a lot of bars, but it's not as such a small market segment as what Monterey is. Have you thought about potentially pursuing a different start city and then maybe eventually expanding franchise out here in Monterey?
We did think about that. The biggest concern of doing that was the price difference in the land. So obviously in San Francisco, the land is going to be a lot more expensive than out here, and it's a lot more abundant out here in Monterey as well. Also, according to Investopedia, the patrons you can expect at a night in the nightclub go anywhere from 700 to 1,200. So we lowballed that in our initial numbers. We went with 600 patrons per night. And you had another part of the question. I totally forgot what it was.
It's really more, the patrons sound like you have the right amount of people potentially, if that's something that you can keep consistently. Friday through Sunday, Friday through Saturday, I don't think we have any issues.
Yeah.
It would be really more Sunday through Thursday.
And that's where the renting of the space is going to come in, since we're not going to be open most of those days. We're going to be renting those out for events, for concerts.
And I know you mentioned you'd want to start that after year one, but would you be possibly willing to start that at day one, so that you can help subsidize your rent, your mortgage, your investments, your marketing? And also the other idea to that would be if you do choose this area and you rent it out to other facilities, people will see that probably as they're partying, doing whatever else they're doing, and then they know, hey, Friday through Saturday, this is Shooters. Would be an idea. But overall, awesome
Thank you
business.
so much. Thank you. Great input. Any more questions?
No,
Did you have a question?
he literally
You got
asked
it?
my question when I was raising my hand.
You got it.
Yeah, like two shots.
Come,
Give one to Brad too.
Alright, we got you.
wait, hang on, I do have a question. Can we go back to your revenue model? You got it at it a little bit here. So you're thinking, how many people per night do you need to have in here? Let's start your model from the ground up.
So that's year one, we're starting at 600, and then year three, we project to have about 750.
Per night on average, being open six nights a week?
We're going from 3 to 4.
3 to 4 nights a week,
And then,
okay.
that doesn't include any of the event rentals or the concerts.
Yeah.
And your average revenue per patron is?
It's going to be anywhere from $20 to $30, depending on cover charge and drinks.
Okay, and that gets you to these revenue numbers. Now, so then with your sales forecast in year three, you've got it at 165,000, 166,000. And what does that look like in terms of profitability at that level of business?
So going off of that, we would still be in debt to an angel investor at that point.
Yeah, but remember, being in debt, the investor money is a separate question. That's called return to investors. But is the business making money at the?
Yes, it is.
At which stage here is the business making money?
Year 2, when we start making money. As we start spending less money on alcohol, since we have our initial inventory still in stock. The biggest price comes at year 1 when you have to pay for fresh everything. But as the time goes on, we just replenish the alcohol that we're missing out on, so we're not spending as much money per month.
Okay, so let me do a quick teaching piece here, because this is important to understand. Are you catching the flaw in what he's saying? Right, he's mixing expenses and investments. In how he's saying, I'm looking for my. So, is there a marker over there? So when they buy, I know what I did with I had a good one. When they buy alcohol inventory, is that an expense? So they're going to start out buying probably, let's say, $30,000 worth of alcohol. Is that an expense?
Yes.
No, not an expense. That's an investment. That's inventory. Inventory is an investment. Doesn't show up on the income statement. When does it show up as an expense on the income statement? When they sell it. And where is it going to show up in the income statement? Cost of goods sold. Okay? So my question is, on an operating basis, not about investments. That's all. That is a separate question. On an operating basis, when does this make money? On a monthly basis, but look at monthly revenue, monthly expenses. Is it in here? Is it making money at some point?
Yeah, I'd still probably say around year 2, once our patron numbers increase and our drink price increases. That way we can cover more of the bouncer fees, the employment staff, and then the electricity.
So you have a P&L forecast also, right?
Not in our PowerPoint.
Not in, no, I understand it's not in here, which is fine. That's not an issue. But you should still be able to answer the question, at least be able to answer the question, in year 3 with revenues of $166,000, how much money are you projecting the business will make at that level of sales? Well, to get to retained earnings is overdone. So you need to be able to answer that question, because then my follow-on question, if it is profitable at that level, that sales level does not look very high to me.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
very small estimate.
yeah. And if the business is profitable at that level, then you'd have the opportunity to do more of these and have a growth strategy. If it's not profitable at those levels. Okay, so that's an important question to be able to answer is this restaurant or this nightclub profitable at that level? Because if it isn't, then we can't scale yet, right? We got to know at what kind of sales do we need at each nightclub for them to be profitable if we're going to